welcome back to my channel. So have you ever been online shopping and you're like scrolling along and you're like, man, I really like this top, but I don't really want to pay the price? No, just me. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this top using my Cricut machine and Cricut Design Space. So let's go. So the first thing I'm going to do is open Cricut Design Space on my iPad, and then I'm going to open a new project. Once I open the new project, I'm going to select text, and then I'm going to search for the font that I would like to use. You can use any font that you want. And then for the first box, I'm going to type in white. And then I'm going to move it up and then expand it to the size I prefer. And then once I'm done with it, I'm going to duplicate the text. I'm going to remove the white text. I'm going to write in mom. And then size it to the size that I would like. And as you can see, I'm going to be playing with the different fonts to see which one I would like. At the end, you'll see that I'm going to use the same font for each of the text box. So now I'm going to create the text box for the word boss. And then I'm going to move it and resize it to the size that I would like. And I'm going to make each of the words pretty much the same size. And you can resize it two different ways. You can resize it by expanding the box, or you can go down to actions and select the text there, or input the size there. I'm going to go back up to the word mom, and I'm going to change it to the font that matches the other two. So as you can see, I am changing the font for all of the word boxes so that they all have the same font, and resizing them so they're all pretty much the same size. Once I'm done changing the fonts and the sizes, I am going to select. So I'm going to select make it, and then we're going to have to select the mirror option so that it flips it. And then after it flips it, I'm going to select continue so that we can cut it. I'm using the Bluetooth option, so we're going to have to turn on our machine, and then we're going to wait for the machine to populate on the screen. Once it populates, we're going to select the option from the menu, which is our only option here. And then it's going to detect it on the machine, and we're going to cut it. So now that we're ready to cut, we're going to have to set up our mat to cut the vinyl. I'm using the standard Cricut mat. So we're going to rip off the covering, the protector, and we're going to place our vinyl down, shiny side down on the mat. And we have to make sure that we place it properly so that it is smooth with no bumps in the vinyl. And we're going to lay it down and roll it out. I'm using the roll, but you can use sheets. But I don't have any sheets, so I'm using the roll. And then I'm going to cut off the excess vinyl. So I'm cutting off the excess vinyl. And I know there are easier ways to do this, but this is the way that I do it. So now that we've cut off the extra vinyl, we're gonna scrape out all of the kinks and bumps and bubbles in the vinyl. And I'm gonna use my Cricut scraper. So now that we're ready to cut our vinyl, we're going to place our mat into the machine and hit the feed in button. And then we're going to hit the cut button. And the machine will proceed to cut the vinyl. So now our machine is done cutting. We're going to remove it from the machine, and then we're going to weed it out. First, we're going to remove the vinyl from the mat, and then we're going to set our mat aside because we no longer need it. I'm going to be using my lighting board to help me weed out the vinyl. You can find this lighting board on Amazon. I'll put the link down below just in case you're interested. So now removing the plastic from the lighting board, and then I'm going to hit the power button. And as you can see, my machine's not plugged in, so let me take care of that really quickly. Okay, now that we're all plugged in, we're going to hit the power button, and we're going to use this light to help us weed out the vinyl that we don't need. First, I'm going to take my scissors and cut off the extra vinyl that we don't need. We can use that for an extra project. And I'm going to set that aside. Then I'm going to cut each of my words. And set them aside. The first word that I'm going to weed out is the wife. I'm going to take my weeding tool to help me weed out the extra vinyl that we don't need. And again, this light isn't necessary, but I'm just using it just because. If you have good lighting in the room, it's not necessary. It's really necessary, or it's really helpful for when you have the smaller words. But since these words are a lot bigger, it wasn't really necessary. So now that we have the word wife weeded out, I'm going to weed out the remaining two words. So now that we have all of our words weeded out, we're going to put our lighting board aside and prepare our table to press the words on our shirt. Now I'm using this blanket on my table, don't judge me. And then I'm going to heat up my EasyPress machine. And then lay out my sweater. So now that our EasyPress has reached the temperature of 325 degrees, we're going to take the presser and iron out our sweater. This will help the adhesive stick, or the HTV stick better to the sweater. Now that we're done pressing out the sweater, we're going to put our EasyPress aside and we're going to prepare to place our letters on the sweater. I normally place the letters or the words 3 inches down from the collar of the shirt, but for this one I'm going to place it 5 inches down from the collar of the shirt. And I'm going to try to get it as even as possible. And I'm using the ruler to help me do this. So now that that's done, we're going to place our first word down. And I'm going to cut off the extra clear backing. And I'm going to make sure that it's even and straight. And after that's done, we're going to place down our next word, mom. So I'm laying down mom, and I'm going to make sure that it's even and straight. And I'm going to do the same thing for the word boss. Now that everything's laid out, I'm going to take a piece of wax paper or parchment paper or butcher paper, and I'm going to lay it on top of the wording, and I'm going to use my EasyPress, set it for 45 seconds, and let it sit. And I'm going to do this repeatedly 3 times. So now I'm going to remove the parchment paper, and then I'm going to remove the clear backing from each word. And look how smoothly it comes off. And that's because we applied that initial heat to the sweater before we place the words down. Beautiful. So now I'm going to take that same wax paper and place it on top of the words. This is an added step. You don't have to do this, but this is what I normally do just to make sure that those words really stick to the sweater. Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. No, I'm really just